Um, um, I got back on here because I just got back from the center. Um, I think I'm leading my channel in the wrong way. Most of the time I'm on here just talking about myself, and I shouldn't be doing that. I just had a long conversation with God. Um, excuse me, but I just had a long conversation with God, and on my way up there and on my way back, just thinking about some things and where I'm at in life and the lessons learned. Because I do have a lot of knowledge in this brain of mine, I feel like I should be just talking about some other stuff. Just oh my God, helping people. I don't feel like I'm helping people right now, and it's kind of bothering me. Plus, I'm cooking my food for the rest of the week, and that's what I do. I meal prep, and I thought it would be done by now, but it's not. Got a roast in the oven and some more steak. Um, it's probably gonna last. I'm gonna freeze it, so it's probably gonna last me for like 3 weeks because I don't eat much. But let's get right back into it. I just don't feel like I know there's people out there that's going through, breakup or something else that's hurting their heart, and I don't feel like I'm talking about that enough. Um, I want to give somebody a chance to get on here. I want to see how it works. So, with that being said, I'm gonna see what happens when I share a link and see if somebody can get on my live, because I really need to be doing what I can do to help people, even if it's just them getting on here and just expressing how they feel, you know. There we go. I just posted it. So we're going to see if anybody joins in. If anybody's up that's going through something and just needs to talk. Because I feel like that's what I should be doing. Um, it's one thing to get on here and talk about what you're doing in life and what you think, because everything that you think is not going to fit everybody, you know? Know what a person is going through. This is what I'm saying. And I'm just hoping everybody is okay and nobody needs to talk. So, um, 'cause I was just this up there talking to my director, and we was just talking about different stuff, about what the workers be going through, and I get it, you know. Oh, I get it, but it's so hard. It's so hard, especially when you have people dependent on you for service. Because I just can't fall into that thing where I just let it go. And, you know, my parents don't have care. And now, because my worker was in a situation, now they don't have care. Now they about to lose their house, or they're about to lose their job, something, you know. This all has a domino effect. I'm just trying to make sure everybody is taken care of. And sometimes it's really hard, you know. It's like, come on, y'all, get it together so I can keep y'all with a job. I can I can keep my parents with a job, and we can get all these kids in here. I can give y'all raises, and you know, we can get this money, you know, because whether they believe it or not, I can only do so much with money. You know, after that point, it's just basically sitting in my account. And I used to be like that. I used to be like, let's see how big my account grows. But I grew up, you know, and I found out there's more important things in life. Like, I want to be able to pay my workers at least $20 an hour. My leads, I want to be able to pay them like 22. My assistant manager is probably like 23 or 24. And top my directors out between 25 and $30 an hour. Now, when I get both centers filled, I'll be making close to a little bit over 3 million. And I'll be able to do that. You know, anybody that works for me will be at least making $20 an hour. But I have to get to that process, you know? Um, and it's hard because you get the people who don't want to come to work, who want to call in all the time, that's not dependable. The work ethic has really went down, which is affecting the economy, because when people don't realize when you don't work, it slows down production, it slows down food getting to us, it slows down a lot of stuff, you know, because the companies ain't able to produce all that they need to do for the number of people that's in the world. And that's one thing they just gotta understand, that it's not easy being a business owner. Yeah, everybody want to be one. Everybody want to do it because they think that we got it easy, that we don't really do anything. But they don't see what goes on behind the scenes. Like for me, with my child care loan, I have to deal with the state, the city fire, the city state, the city health department, state health department. And that's just the six, okay? If I decide to get in the food program, I have to deal with them. which I was with them, but I got out of it because it's too much. You know, they want you to do too much. And I mean, yeah, they reimburse you for the food, but if you don't cross your T's and dot your I's in that program, you can end up into some serious trouble. So I just got out of it. Um, but my center has been functioning fine, and now I can feed my kids normal food because even on the food program, you can't feed them certain things. No Fruit Loops, no cereal with sugar in it, nothing with sugar in it. So they want you to feed your kiddos bran flakes, oatmeal, and stuff like that, which is okay, but for every day, kids like other stuff. So I want you to give them 1% milk. They're not drinking 1% milk at home. They're drinking 2% or whole milk. These kids was wasting so much milk. I felt bad for wasting milk because somebody else could have been drinking that milk. So now since I'm not on the food program, I switched to 2%, and they tearing this milk back. I can't keep enough in my centers. Um, but with that being said, I mean, it's hard when you have employees that just don't want to work. They don't want to come in. They don't want to do their job. They want to sit and play on their phone all day. And then you have to let them go. And then you feel bad about letting them go. But you can't tolerate the stuff that they're doing either. Because that stuff can be a liability to you. What if they're playing on their phone and these kids really hurt themselves? You know? And they're not understanding that part of that they are responsible for somebody's whole life. I mean, our children are our whole life. My children is the reason why I do what I do. I have 8 of them. There's no way that I could have ever took care of my kids on a regular job. Not with them coming to ask me, Mama, can you help me out on my rent? Can you help me out on my light bill? Can you help me buy my child something? There's no way. I mean, I think I got like 17 grandbabies. I lost count. And I got two great grandkids and one on the way, one great grand on the way. So with that being said, there's no way I could take care of them on a regular salary because if I was on a regular salary and one of them come ask me to pay their rent and then the next one come ask me to pay their rent, who do I choose? Who do I choose? That would be a tough situation. And for the parents who have multiple children, and they have to go through that, my heart goes out to them because I can't tell one child yes and tell the other one no, and I certainly can't tell both of them no. So I would have to go half and half with both of them and hope that they can figure out the other half. And then you still feel bad because you wasn't able to help them with the rent. And it's just tough. And the government ain't making it no better. They're really not. I mean, like the system, in order to get help from the government, you have to be at poverty level. You know, you can't get no help if you making any type of money. It's like they frown upon people who making money, but what they don't realize, people who making money, they get in a bad position too. You know, they get in a bad position where they need help. But you telling them just because they make X amount of dollars, they shouldn't need no help. That's so untrue. That's so untrue. Like one time, and I still got this baker's rack. It still sits in my dining room. I seen this nice baker rack, and the dude wasn't. He was trying to sell it for $50. Okay, I know what the baker rack was worth because I like them, you know. And I've been looking at them online, wanted to buy one, and I couldn't find one that I can afford. So I said, let me get on Facebook Marketplace. And so I got on Facebook Marketplace, started looking for them. And then I seen this really nice one, y'all. It was my favorite color. It was like a cream and a green color. It's like real, real nice. I know this Baker Rack. I had just looked at one, and it was priced at like 500 and some dollars. And this man is on there selling it for $50. So I called him up. I texted him immediately on Facebook, told him that I wanted it and when I could meet. And so he was like, "Fine, meet me here." And he was like, "Are you serious? You coming?" Because it was out in Liberty. And so I was like, yes, I'm serious. At the time, I stayed in Kansas. So I get in my car the next day. And for some reason, God prompted me to take out like $300. So I took out $300 and I proceeded on the way. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, I got to be crazy. I got $300. I'm going to meet a man I don't know, but I'm meeting him at Quick Trip, so the police is normally there. So I felt kind of okay. So I get up there and I'm waiting on him to pull up with the baker's rack. He pulls up. He's got it taken apart like halfway, and he's showing me how I can put it back together. So um, I proceeded. I gave him the $50. He helped me load the baker's rack in the car. So God put it on my heart to just ask him. I said, I asked him just like this. I said, why are you selling this for $50? You know? And he just told me, he was like, well, my daughter, she's 7 years old and she needs a heart transplant. And we came up on the waiting list and we don't have all the money to get the heart transplant. And he showed me a picture of his house, which he stayed in what I would consider a mansion. You know, I mean, this house was huge. And so I asked him, I said, what do you do for a living? And he laughed. He said, on the contrary, I'm a doctor, but I'm not a heart surgeon. And, so he smiled about it. And I said, if you was a heart surgeon, would you do the operation? He said, most definitely. To save my daughter's life, I would do the surgery. He was like, if you see, my house is empty. We lived in this house for like 15 years. He literally told me that he sold everything in his house, and he said that he only needed $50 more and he would have the money for the heart transplant. It took everything in me to keep it together because I'm thinking, this man lives in a mansion. He is a doctor. His wife is a neurosurgeon. So they're both doctors and they can't afford a heart transplant. And with all the bills that they was paying and everything, he said the only thing we didn't have to sell was the house. And we can rebuild and buy everything that we need once she is okay and out of the woods. And I thought about the dedication that took because literally in their house, all they had was clothes and they had their beds. That was it. That was it. He sold the refrigerator. He sold the stove. He sold the dishwasher. I mean, when I say he sold everything, he sold everything. He was driving an old beat up truck because they sold the new cars. I mean, me and him, we sat out there and we talked for about a good hour or two, just in Quick Trip's parking lot. And I just listened to him. And then you know how you hear that quiet voice in your head that says, give him some money? I had took out 300. So I reached in my pocket and I pulled out the other 250 and I got his hand and I put it in his hands. This man literally started crying and said he's been praying for somebody to help him. He didn't know where the help was going to come from. He didn't know what he was going to do. Because keep in mind, y'all, he just sold everything, refrigerator, everything. He don't even have no food in his house to feed his family. He looked at me and said, now I can buy groceries and I can get gas until I get paid. This man literally sold everything. I'm talking about food, everything, to get this heart transplant for his daughter. And the faith that it takes for that to just hope and pray that somebody is going to help you because you make all this money and you can't get no help. It's just crazy. And y'all, that was before we knew about the GoFundMe, you know? That was before people would get on there and tell their stories and get help. So this man literally had no help. And for a while, you know, I would just bag up some groceries. Um, and he started trusting me enough to come to his house. So I would go to the house and I would take them groceries. Knowing, and I was working for GE Capital Retail Bank at the time. You know, I was making pretty good money. I was making about maybe almost $20 an hour. Plus, with GE Capital Retail Bank, you can bonus and get the $3,000 bonus, 2,500 or whatever else. And so I would bonus every month. And so out of that bonus money, I would at least take $100 to $200 and buy some groceries because that's all I could do. So I told it's only three of them. So I told him that I would start committing to that, you know? And he looked at me, he's like, are you serious? I said, yeah, I will help you, you know? And so I got to meet the daughter. Oh, sweet little girl. Just so beautiful and so full of life and so sick at the same time. And I took one look at her eyes and I seen why he sold everything. You know, not to be able to look in his little girl's eyes probably would have killed him, you know, because she had the most beautiful blue eyes that I've ever seen, you know, just beautiful. So, me and him, we talked for a while. I met the wife, um, just glorious spirit. both of them God fearing, um, just praying for some help. And so what I did was I went back to my job. I told my job their story, and what everybody did on my job amazed me. You know, my close friends, the ones that, and this was my second job, because back then I was working three jobs, so this was the nursing job that I told, and everybody just started chipping in. I must have collected, I want to say, about 5 or 6 grand for them. Now, me myself, I could have used the 5 or 6 grand, but God was telling me, just release it. So that's what I did. I'm telling you, it was hard, but I obeyed God, and I took the money to them. And when I showed up this time, I showed up because the job, everybody had brought groceries. Um, they bought the little girls some clothes. Um, they bought cough syrup, just the normal medicine in case they got sick or whatever else. About cleaning supplies. Um, we bought a lot of stuff, towels, dishcloths. We bought a lot of stuff. We was collecting nonstop for them for about, I want to say, 2 to 3 weeks, just collecting. Just anybody who can give, just give something. I don't care if it was a can of green beans, give something, you know. So this time when I showed up, I asked him before I showed up. I said, I got a couple of friends, and I said, they want to meet you. I didn't tell them we was showing up like we was showing up. So, you know, um, when we got there, we asked them to come outside. So they came outside, and when I slung my van door open, and then the other two people slung their van door open, he just immediately started crying. I mean, we had 3 vans full of stuff for them, you know, and I had to make a second trip with by myself because there was some more stuff in my house that I didn't bring. So then we presented him with the money, and then lo and behold, on top of that, one of the guys that I was with, he went and took something out of his 401k. And so he gave them an extra 2 grand. So we gave them 7,000. Um, in the house that he was in, I don't know if it was enough, but it was a start. He was still working. She was still working. So they was able to pay the mortgage, I'm thinking, and the bills. But at the same time, they're struggling because I don't know if y'all know what comes along with heart transplant, but they have to prep for it. Their daughter has to go on certain medication. It was just a lot, you know. So, you know, um, the other person that was with me had bought the wife um, a spa, a spa visit. And so when she presented her with that, she's just like, oh my God. I haven't been to the spa in about a year. But it's just amazing when you help people like that, you know? And so with starting all these companies, I want to be like one of those people that are walking up to people in Walmart and just giving them cash, you know, and just helping them out because, like I said, you never know what somebody is going through. And if God put it on your heart to release something to a person, I don't care if it's a bum on the street begging for money or if it's your neighbor or if it's somebody you don't even know for real. If God put it on your heart, just obey it and help them out. So I'm gonna be using my channel to really have people that want to talk, that is going through something and need to talk, because that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to boast about what I'm doing or how I'm doing it. And I really have to check myself because that's not what I want this channel to be about. I want this channel to be about people who was in the condition that I was in when I started this channel. People who want to just have somebody to talk to. Because I'm telling you, even though nobody is listening right now or that listened to me right then, even if nobody views it, it doesn't matter to me because I'm telling my truth and I'm being my authentic self. And it was a way for me to heal. You know, it was a way for me to get through the pain instead of grabbing a pillow with his shirt on it and spraying the cologne that he wore and crying my eyes out. So I basically, for the first time in my life, had my heart broken to the core. You know, so much till I didn't even know what that feeling was. Like, I was talking to my son and I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, what the hell is this? And my son told me, he's like, Mama, that was because you really loved him. You truly loved him. And you probably loved him unconditionally. And right now, it don't bother me as much. It's only like certain times. So I don't know if it's his energy or mine. But like I tell y'all, I'm going to talk about me before I talk about anybody else. And if it's my energy, I'm learning to deal with it. I'm learning to embrace it. And that's what you have to do because now it is a part of you. You have to embrace that feeling. You have to um, embrace it, live with it, um, say hi to it because it's not going nowhere. It's not. A lot of people say, you'll get over it. Pretty soon you won't even think about him or this or that. No, that's not true. My brother passed, and I know it's been over, I want to say 20 or 30 years. I forget because it's been so long. But This guy had the same birthday as my brother. That's another reason why it drew me to him. And it's probably another reason why it hit me so hard. But my brother is still missing. July 10th come around, it's still hard. He made it easier because I could celebrate his birthday. And that's and maybe that's why I bought him so many gifts, I don't know. But me and my brother, we was really close. But me and my brother, we had an argument before he passed. And I never got to tell him how sorry I was. I never got to say, I apologize. And that still messes with me. It messes with me a lot. I knew my brother, wait a minute, let me think. I knew he loved me. Matter of fact, I did get to apologize. I did. It's been so long. Because he came by my house the night that it happened. And we sat on the porch and we talked. So I did get to apologize. God, it's been so long. And I was so happy that he came by my house because, before we had the argument, he used to come by every night. And I think he stopped coming for a couple of nights. And then he showed up one night. And he told me he was going down there to see one of his exes or something. And I told him he shouldn't go. I don't know. I just told him he shouldn't go. I was pregnant with my seventh child. Yeah, I was pregnant with Biggie. And when I got the news, I remember I was walking down the street. I just came from the store. Me and my kids was walking back, and they told us that he was shot and killed. And then I found out later that the person that was with him said that he was just calling out all our names. All I could think about was, even though he didn't die alone, he was alone because he didn't have us. So that's what I'm saying. When you love somebody, you hold them close. And I think that's what I did wrong with Thomas because I was trying to hold him close. But he didn't know where that was coming from. He didn't know that I had that fear, you know? He didn't know that I called him all the time just to hear his voice to make sure he was okay. He didn't know that that was a big fear in me. And maybe I should have told him, but I never did. But sometimes it's hard to talk about my brother because it brings back a whole lot of feelings because, he was the sibling up under me. So, Jennifer and Pamela were close. Me and him were close. He used to do this thing where when we play fighting, Junior, he cut my doll's hair in a mohawk, y'all. All of our dolls, okay? Every doll we had ended up with a mohawk. And he used to just mess with us, and then we'd run after him, and then he'd get in the corner and just be kicking and swinging like a girl. It was just the funniest thing. And he was just so funny. My brother was so funny. And my brother was a hoe too. So I guess men with the birthday July 10th ain't nothing but hoes. But that's part of the reason that I drew close to Thomas. My mom missed him because she calls and she don't hear his voice in the background. My sisters, they can't believe it either. He was a part of our family. He was. And even though him and my kids were having some differences at the time, um, he still was a part of the family. And I don't really think he knows that. You know, everybody loved and accepted him. Um, Even though they was mad at him, they didn't think he was gonna leave. They thought he was gonna be with me forever, and so did I. But he's not, and so I gotta get back out there. I guess I don't know. I don't even know if I want to get back out there. This new guy, he's great or whatever you, but I don't know if I want to put my heart back out there. Did it once with my kid's father. That didn't hurt me too bad because, like I told y'all, he passed, so there was nothing I can do but accept that he wasn't around. It hurt, but it didn't hurt like this, you know. So I don't even know if I loved him more than I love Thomas. But this one right here, oh yeah. When I tell y'all I couldn't even eat, for like I want to say 2 weeks, I went without eating. I did. I mean, I didn't eat nothing. All I was doing was drinking water. Thank God I had all that fat on me because I probably would have died of starvation. You know. And then every night I would just go in my room and lay on that pillow like I was laying on his chest and go to sleep. And I took melatonin so I could sleep through the night. I don't have to take it no more now. I stopped taking it. For the most part, I sleep through the night without the pillow. But I mean, it's a process. It's a process that you go through. And so I just want to be here more for people who are going through that process because it's hard. I've never felt anything like that before in my life. And I don't want to feel it again. I don't. I don't want to have to wake up and push myself to work, you know. And some days I didn't even work at all, just laid in the bed, the first few days. But then, money, people depended on me, you know, they depended on me for their livelihood. So I made a conscious decision to get my black self up and go back to work. That's what I did. And I had to because I wasn't not gonna not make this money because my kids depend on it. Everything that I do is for the children, you know. Um, I don't want my kids struggling all their life. When they get my age and God rest my soul, I want to make sure that they are able to take care of everything they need with the businesses that I work. And even with them telling me that I'm doing too much, I want them to look at it and be like, man, she was doing too much, but she made sure that we were okay. She made sure that we don't have to worry about nothing because I don't want them to worry about nothing. You know, when they get up in their 40s and 50s, and, you know, I want them to be able to retire and work the company that I built from the ground up. You know, I want them to be able to um, do what they want to do and how they want to do it. I don't want them to be struggling out here. I don't, you know. I really do not want them struggling. I want them to be able to do what they need to do, how they need to do it. Period, point blank. So, what I said I was going to do is I'm going to cut back on some of these cell phones, start saving a little bit more money. Um, I can't stop getting my nails done. My nails, they have to be done. I be doing too much out here to be looking raggedy. And that's one thing. When I was with him, I was running around looking raggedy. And he still was with me. He didn't care that I was running around looking raggedy. He didn't care. He was just with me. You know? And people call me his mama and be like, nah, that's my girl. He didn't care. Hold hands with me, kiss me, all that. All out in public. He didn't care. So for him to say that he don't love me, I don't know. I think he bullshitting. Yeah, I think he bullshitting. But we'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. She would quit being such a coward. Yes, Thomas, I'm calling you a coward. And an asshole. The biggest asshole I know. But I just wish he would stop and just come talk to me. But he's not. So I gotta talk to other guys. And if I fall in love with one, I do. Um, who knows what my future holds? But I'm not gonna let my past affect my present nor my future. I promise you that. Not anymore. Not anymore. I can't keep harboring around these feelings that people then hurt me and did certain things to me. I just can't no more. So, with that being said, tomorrow I'm going to leave the link up and I'm going to make a short with the link. And y'all are going to be able to get on my live with me, hopefully. And we can sit down and talk about some real conversations. They will no longer be a monologue, it'll be a conversation. And we'll see how y'all feeling out there, because that's what this channel is about. It's not about me telling y'all what y'all should do. It's not about me telling y'all what I think. It's about me listening, you know, about me listening and you being able to speak your truth. So, with that being said, I'm going to get off of here because I really do need to go to bed. It's like 2 a.m. And I know my friend is going to call me like at 4:30. So, I don't even know if I'm going to go to sleep or not. But I'm going to see. I got some work done tonight because I don't know how I'm going to be feeling in the morning because I don't know if he going to throw some energy. I'm hoping he don't. Oh no, I'm not putting that on my head right now. I'm gonna go lay down. I'm hoping he don't, but who knows? Who knows? In case y'all want to know what I'm spraying on my head, it's just like um, it's a lock aloe vera spray, and it's really really good if you have locks. It keeps your hair moisturized and it don't bog down your hair. It don't, and then it dries fairly quick. It does. So I put that on there, and then where's my shower cap? I use a shower cap. You see, so that way it don't dry it out, but um, moisturize your hair even more. And then I got what I call my hair pillow, so I don't mess up my other pillows, like me and my bonnet. And you know what? And that's all he used to see me in is a bonnet. Oh, so if he ever see this, he'd be like, "Oh shit, there go that damn bonnet again." But that's all he used to see me in. But I do this so that my scalp can just take it all in. I'm hoping this meat is done, so I can go to sleep. If not, then I'll be back on. But I'm hoping it's done because I'm tired. All right, I will talk to you guys later. And from now on, it'll be about life and not me.